Hello Steelers, and welcome to this game of square bashing in my ongoing quest to make everybody in Wargaming play historical First World War war games. This is a Peter Pig game. It's been around for a long time, 2012 in fact, so it's actually, as I record this, 12 years old. So it's quite an old game. I've been playing it probably for about a decade or so now. There are some battle reports that I've done previously on square bashing a good few years ago, but you can find those on the channel. But I thought I want to come back to it. I actually played it at the club recently with Dex and with Steve. When I say recently, that depends on when this video goes out. Recently when I'm recording this. And it reminded me how much of a good game it is. I've not actually played it for a few years, and it is a very, very good game. I've set up the board so it's a little bit like the Battle of Third Ypres, which is more commonly known as Passchendaele, which was one of the last places to be fought over. In November of 1917, a British attack on German positions, hastily dug trenches. It's kind of like that bit of the war where everything is really in flux and things are changing. German defensive ideas have changed. British attacking ideas have also changed as well. So it's quite an interesting part of the war, one of the most interesting parts for me as well. And I'm playing. For those who have played square bashing, and if you haven't, I do absolutely urge you to go and pick it up and check it out. For those that have played it, I'm playing what is called the pickup game, but I'm changing a few things. In the pickup game, you don't have reinforcements. There's a few other bits and pieces you don't do. I've also got a bit of an idea as well for pushing the British line a bit further forward, because it is quite solid on that back line. But I'll go through those ideas when we get the game started, and I will obviously show you the table as well. Just to mention as well, one of the nice things about square bashing is it actually fits on a 3x4 table, so it does. It's a really nice little compact game that you can take down to the club and just play set up easy, as long as you've got a gridded mat or just something to show the grids. But that's all to come, and I will show you the setup. We'll do the depletions for the Germans, and then I'll talk about that pushing the line forward for the British, and we'll get on with this game and see if the British forces can actually push through the German lines and capture Passchendaele. Okay, so this is our basic setup. We're looking here from the British lines, as you can see here. We've got the German defence line at the back of the table along here. There are three objectives that the British have to capture, or at least capture two of. So we've got the little village at the back here, the ruined village, this village here, and also the crossroads here where the Germans have now dug hasty defences. They push forward to capture that and hold it. You can see here we've got these villages. As I said, these are obviously cover. We also have a large mine crater and also several areas of shattered ground as well. There's no forest here because they've all been smashed to pieces by artillery over the preceding weeks. The Germans have a 450 points army, and this is consisting of their headquarters at the back there in the shell craters. They also have 5 battalions of regular infantry, so that's these ones here, 2, 3, 4 and 5 in those buildings over there. They actually have 6 machine guns. We've got one over here defending the flank, one in the building there, another one here, 2 in the sugar factory, and also another one at the front there as well. And then they also have 5 field guns, and these are scattered around. There's 2 at the back there, 2 at the back there, and then another one in the sugar factory over there as well. The British, on the other hand, they have a 622 point army. And for this we have 6 regular infantry units, so that's these ones here, 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 here and here, and then we also have 3 professional units, so here, here and here. Did I mention the German professional ones? That's those ones there. There's stormtroopers in there. They also have 2 reservist units, so they've got 1 battalion here and they've got 1 here on the flanks, just to hold those flanks and help support rather than actually go into the fighting. They also have 2 heavy tanks, so 2 Mark IVs, a male and female, to help support this attack, and they also have 4 machine guns, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Not a huge amount of use in the attack, but they will be good for shooting. Then we also have 3 field guns, 1, 2 and 3 there, just to help support and do a bit of firing. Okay, in square bashing, the defenders always have depletions on their cavalry and infantry units, and also machine guns and field artillery as well. They're handled slightly differently. In the pickup game, you basically roll 6d6 for each of the battalions, Every 6 you roll takes away 1 base for each unit, so potentially you could lose up to all 4 of them. Alternatively, you can put them into reserves. Again, in the pickup game, you don't actually put them in reserves, they're just lost, those bases. However, in this game, I'm going to put them into reserves. We're having reserves. We're also having assets as well in this game, which isn't in the pickup game. For the machine guns and for the field guns, you roll 1 single d6. Now, if they disappear on the 6, then they will not go into reserves, so they will be taken out. So I'm going to work my way through, first of all, through the battalions, and we will roll our 6 dice and just see how many units are lost from each, and then I will decide whether they're going to go into reserves or not. So, first one here. So they have lost 1 base. I'm going to take 1 base off just to remind me. They will probably stay on the field. I think if you lose 2 bases, next one here, it's enough to take them off. They have also lost 1 base as well, so I think they're going to stay on. These guys here in front, I'll come back and do the machine guns in a second. So these ones here, these have lost 1 base as well, because keeping them in reserve is okay, but it means they have to be brought onto the table as well. Now these have lost another one as well, so this is a British opening bombardment, doing some damage to the defenders is what this is simulating. Right, the next regular unit, now they have lost 2 bases, so I think they are probably going to go into reserve. And then finally the professionals over here, let's just see what they've got. They haven't lost any, which is good for them. So yeah, I'm going to put this remaining unit into reserve. The rest of these will then disappear off the table, so I'll just move these to one side, and then we'll work back through our machine guns and our field guns as well. So the first machine gun over here in hasty defences, that's still on the table. The one at the back here is on the table. This there's 2 field guns there, so I'll just roll for them because it doesn't. Oh no, I'll do this machine gun first here. They're fine, and then the 2 at the back, 2 guns, they're fine. The 2 guns there, 5 and 1, they are fine. You have a machine gun in the objective, 2, that's fine. 2 machine guns here in the sugar factory, a 1 and a 1, they're fine. And then finally, that last gun there is a 3, so that is fine as well. So the Germans actually got away with that, only losing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases in total. So now for the British, I want to try something slightly different. As I say, having them just straight up lined up like this looks a bit weird. So I want to potentially push some of them forward. And I'm going to do this through dice rolls. Basically, I roll a dice for each square. If they get a 5 or a 6, they move forward a square. I'm going to allow it so that field guns get the decision. So this field gun over on its own may not push forward into that square there, because for obvious reasons really, we're a bit daft for that. So we'll just basically work our way through. So the reservists, machine gun and a field gun, let's say they can do it if they want. A 5 or a 6 I said, so yes, we're going to push these forward. We're going to put the reserves up, reservists up here with the machine gun, and they're going to put that field gun forward as well, so it's protected. Now the tank, professional unit and a regular unit, no they don't. The next one here, this is just kind of to simulate the lines are not always as straight as you know, it seems from thinking about trench lines. So these have got forward, they've got 5, so I'm going to put those forward. Right, the next one, another professional unit with a tank and a infantry unit, a normal unit, yes they can as well, so I'm going to stick these up. So it's already breaking up the line a little bit, just making things a little bit more interesting, and that's the plan of this. As I say, because otherwise everybody's just going to be moving forward at the same speed. It'll look a bit weird and boring. Right, this one here, so this is just a normal unit with a machine gun. No, they don't move forward. And next one, a professional unit, a normal unit and a field gun. No, they don't move forward. And then reservists and the normal unit, sorry, usual unit is a 4 with a machine gun. No, and then I'm not going to try for that field gun. So basically we've managed to push forward a couple of units at least over here for the British, so slightly different starting points from before. Right, so it's Britain's first turn, and they are immediately bringing in a rolling barrage because they want to try and smash up some of this German defence over here. You can probably really do this in a second turn, but because they've got some units forward, if they did it now, at least they will be able to get onto, or at least close to the position in the centre here. Now it covers 5 squares in a row with 2 barrage markers in each square, causing 2 artillery hits. Now you're looking at me going, well, why are you hitting it here? You're only hitting one. Because what it is, a rolling barrage will just move forward, and it can move up to 3 squares back. So potentially it could capture those, and those with this hit. But first of all, we've got to see if it actually arrives. The British have got 8 dice for their asset for this. They're spending them all at once because they want to make sure this comes in. We just need 1 6 out of these 8 dice for it to happen. So let's see if it does. And yeah, we've got 2 3 6s there in total, so yes, it does actually happen. So what happens is, as I say, we choose the 5 squares in a row where it hits, and these are these ones here. We're going to go through the hits in a bit, but before we do that, we have to see if it actually rolls and see where it stops. So for each one, we roll the dice. It can roll for 2 more hits, basically, for 2 more squares behind. So I'm going to mark these out in a second just to see where they go. So for the first one, they basically need a 3 up for it to move into the next one. So the first one here, 3 up is a 1. No, it doesn't. The first failure stops the barrage where it is. So that stops. So this one, does it move into here? There's not much point if it does anyway. No, it doesn't. This one here, this is relatively important. No, that one doesn't either. This is not a very good rolling barrage. The next one on the guns, yes, it finally has moved forward, so we caused 2 hits there. Then, that was good, was what we needed. Then we rolled to see if it moves into the square behind. 3, yes it does. So that is then going to cause 2 more hits here. And then finally, we'll see if it falls in there, the sugar factory. No, it doesn't. So it's actually only rolled forward once. So it's not a great barrage after all. But it does cause 2 hits, 2 artillery hits in each of these squares. So the Germans are going to have to save for this. First one's over here. The Germans decide where the first 2 hits go, the British decide where the rest of the hits go. So they're going to take their first 2 hits on, 1 hit on this, 1 hit on this. You have to spread them out amongst all the units in the square as well before you start adding them up. So 1 hit on these, 1 hit on these. These are in hasty defences. They're not in trenches, but they are in hasty defences. Normally they're saving on a 4 up, so now they're saving on a 3 up. So the first one here, they have 6, that's a save. Second one here, that's a 4, so both of those have saved. Now we're over here. This time we have professionals in there, also in buildings. They are also saving on a +1 anyway, because they're professionals, so they are saving on that. They are saving there on a 3, so they're going to take the first hit on there, and the second hit will go on the machine gun. That is an actual hit. That's going to cause a casualty and half a base off. And then for the machine gun, that's saving on a 3 up anyway. It's not in trenches, so it doesn't count. So 1 or a 2 and that's hit. No, it's a 4, so they've taken 1 hit in there. That will affect the Germans' morale in their turn. And we've got the 2 hits on the field guns over there. They are, unfortunately for them, saving on 5s and 6s, so they might take a paggery. They're going to take 1 hit on each. So let's see. They've failed their rolls, so they are both damaged, which is not good for them. So I've done the basic movement for everybody. A couple of these got bonus moves, so these professionals and regulars and the tank moved forward. They've started off further forward, so they just moved up, just where up to touching the barrage basically. A couple of others have moved forward as well. Because they're not in proximity to the Germans, they can take a bonus. So these ones want to take their bonus, these ones also want to take their bonus, and these ones are going to have to try to get out of this this village in the first place. So basically we roll a dice for them to move out. So the first one's here. They need a 3 up basically for the infantry. So let's see, we've got 2, so they can't get out, but they can use that bonus move to get out anyway, so they're going to. So we're going to move them forward. I did forget as well to mention that the higher command, I've given them a fighting bonus for the British for their bonus if they want to use it. I'm not giving it to anybody because nobody's going to be using it yet, and the Germans have got a morale bonus for theirs. Now the machine gun, that also needs a 3 up. A 2, so it's failed it, but it can use that bonus move to get out. Now, these ones are trying to use their bonus move to get out of the scenery. So the 1st battalion over here, yes, they've done it. 2nd battalion, who are professionals, they get a +1 to do this, so they basically need anything but a 1. Yes, they've done it. They're leaving their gun behind, so these are out into the open fields beyond. I'll just move these up as well. And then the final ones over here, again using this bonus move, we've got machine guns and also 1 reservist actually, so that will be a -1 for them to get out. So they need a 4 up, we'll do them first. Yes, they've done it. The regulars, no they haven't, but they can use it as a bonus move to get out. And finally the machine gun. Oh no, they can't, because this is their bonus move. Machine gun's done it. So the regulars, the reservists and the machine gun have got out, but the others haven't. With the British movement over, we move on to the German shooting. Now there are a couple of guns over here which can't fire because they are under a barrage, so they can't fire out of it. But we've got these two guns here. We've also got a gun over here as well. These are all going to fire into this square because this is the one that is the most important for them. So they basically roll 3d6 per gun, so that's 9 dice. And any 6s are hits. That's what they're going for. So let's have a look. See how many they got. They have only caused 2 hits. Now the British decide where those 2 hits are going to go because it's their choice. So they're going to put 1 on each of the infantry battalions. One of these is professionals, so they're saving on a 3-up anyway. So let's see for them. 1, they've taken a hit. Let's put that there to remind me. And then the other hits on the regular battalion, they're saving on a 4, 5 or 6. They've saved. So the professionals have taken a hit, but not the regulars. Okay, so for the Germans, it is their asset turn. So what they're going to do is they're going to go for a suppression barrage on the British here. It's basically 1 hit on each of these squares, stops them moving. What I did forget was I forgot to actually roll for the accuracy of the British barrage in the first place, but we'll just pretend we did this. Right, so we're rolling to see if we get it. They've got 10 in total chances of doing this, but they're only going to use 5 for this turn, so in case they want to use it in the future. So let's see. Roll. Yes, a 6. They have got it. Now this time I am going to roll for the accuracy of it. So basically, if it's a 1, it falls back. If it's a 6, it comes forward. Otherwise, it's on target. So let's see what we get. 5. It is on target. And I've already marked up the points here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically, this means that nobody can move out of these units, out of these squares, or into them as well. They become impassable until the end of the British turn, and they also take 1 hit on each of these squares as well, potentially. So we'll start with the first one over here. The British are going to put it on the professionals because they've got a better saving roll. They're saving on a 3-up. Let's see, that is a 2, so that is 1 hit. I'll mark these in and I'll take the squares out in a second because this will affect British morale potentially. Then over here they're going to take the hits on the infantry again, so they're saving on a 4-up, and yes, they've done it. The next one over here, they're going to take it again on the professionals. They've already taken a hit, but let's take it on them, so that's a 3-up. No, so that is half a base off there. So just mark, we've got another hit in there as well. Then finally over here, 1 more, it doesn't really matter because they're both the same regular. So 4, that is a save as well. So let me just swap that for that. The professionals are taking a paste in at the moment, aren't they? Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go on to the German higher command. So the way we do this, they've got a morale bonus. So we're going to take that morale bonus marker, and I want to put it in a square that is going to save morale. Now, over here, it's quite simple because they've got a professional unit that will take away the morale. They're also in defences. These ones over here, not likely because they are regular units. So the morale bonus, it says -2, basically takes 2 dice off. They are currently being hit by 2 artillery bursts, so that might affect their morale, but it will get rid of it, so basically it moves on from the morale. But I need to actually issue that higher command order. The Germans have actually got 4 re-rolls for this if they want, and we count the squares, including the square that the higher command is in. And we count the squares, including the square the higher command is in, and we can go 1 diagonal. So we go 1, 2, 3. We need 3 up basically on the dice. I'm going to roll them all together rather than just re-rolling one at a time. So basically just any of these gets over 3, it's done, and the morale bonus goes in. 3, a 3 and a 3 and a 2. Yeah, they've got it. So their morale bonus goes in. So we will quickly move on to the German morale. So first of all, as I say, we've got 1 casualty marker over here. So the professionals will reduce that by 1 anyway, so that takes that off, so they don't have to do any morale. Then we also have the morale bonus over here, which reduces these 2 shocks. Actually, I don't think they need to take a morale bonus anyway, morale test anyway, because they don't have any casualties in there. So then, so that basically ends the German morale, so we don't need to do any more of that. I don't want to move the Germans because they're already in the positions they want to be in, so we're just going to leave that. They have no assaults because they can't anyway. The only one that can assault is here, and it's got they're basically stopped by that suppression barrage in front of them, and also the barrage they're in as well. So the opponent carries out the shooting, and let's just see, what have we got that we can shoot with. They've got 1, 2, 3 guns which can fire. They only have a range of 4, so, and one of those is diagonal. So 1, 2, 3, could put some fire in there. I think it's probably better to go in here. 1, 2, 3 and 4, yeah, that's just in range. And 1, 2, 3 from this gun here. So these 2 guns will fire into the objective, and then the final one over here will fire 1, 2, 3 at this objective as well. I think that's the way to do it. So basically we're just rolling with 6s. Nobody else can fire because they're under barrage, so they can't fire anyway. So first one, firing into the objective, hitting on 6s, no hits, and then we've got 2 more firing into the other objective over here of the village, hitting on 6s. They've caused 1 hit. So the Germans will take that 1 hit on their professionals. They're saving on a 3-up because they're professionals. So 3, they've saved it, so no effect there. So now we take off the higher command order. I'm just going to put it back there with the higher command so we know we've got it. Then we remove any opponent inflicted barrage markers. Don't worry, I remember the casualties here. I'm going to put those back in place. So you see that the barrage markers stay in place for your full turn. So the British won't be able to move because of those suppression markers. We'll take off the last one there. So there's no longer a rolling barrage. While I'm over there, I'll take off that casualty marker because we did that morale test. And then we have the reinforcements phase. Now the Germans have only got 1 reinforcement, so what they're going to do is they're going to bring that immediately onto the road. If you had more, you could test for them, but they don't. So they've only got 1, so that will just deploy literally on that road section over here. It's only a 2 base unit, unfortunately. No, sorry, it's the full unit, isn't it? I forgot. You don't lose the bases if you put them into reinforcements, so it is a full fresh battalion. They will probably try to make that get back to where it was over there. Then we roll for the countdown timer. Now the countdown timer starts at 21, so we roll the dice for this and see what we get. The Germans, it's a 1, so that brings it down to 20. Well, because the Germans have buggered up the British with their assault over here by pinning them in place, we're going to go for the British assets is going to be gas, and they are gassing the back line of the German defences, which is kind of what it was used for anyway. So basically it lays out a 5 squares in a row like this. Each square will take 2 hits if it lands, if they get it, and they're spending all of their filthy dollars on this, so they need 6s. Nobody else can use gas while there is an opponent's gas still in place, so we'll stop the Germans from using gas. So they do have it, they've got 2 6s, but now we have to see if it lands or not. So 1, it falls back towards the British, a 6, it goes forward, otherwise it lands in position. See 3, yes, it's landed in position, so that then causes 2 hits against each of these squares. So that's not good for the Germans, right? And they don't get any bonuses from saving in these. Now the 2 Germans, they've got a machine gun and also 2 battalions. They're going to take their 2 hits on those battalions, so they're saving on 4s up. They're both the same, so I'm just going to roll for them. 1 has saved, 1 hasn't. The next hit is on this battalion that has just come in as reinforcements, so these are saving on 4s up. 5 and 5, that's them saved. Meanwhile, we have in here, we have 2 guns and the higher command. We're going to try to save the guns, so 5s and 6s for these, 1 on each. No, neither of those, so those are damaged as well. So this is perfectly what gas was used for. Then we also have 2 hits over here on these ones as well. Gas can also drift as well, but it can also dissipate. So let's see if we can save these 5s and 6s, 1 on each. 1's saved, 1 hasn't, so that has destroyed one of those German guns, so that's been pretty useful, hasn't it? And then the British bonus for their high command is a fighting bonus. They're back here, but there's going to be nobody fighting because everybody is trapped underneath this barrage. So I'm just going to, I'll set up those damaged markers and put some casualty markers on at the table. Okay, so that was the assets. We haven't done a fighting bonus for the British because they're not going to be moving forward anyway. But we got a couple of morale tests. So we've got one over here and we got one over here. Now, these ones, they are under a barrage, so that is 1 point. They have taken a casualty, so that is 1 point, so that's 2 in total. But they have a professional unit in there, so that takes that down to 1. They're only rolling 1 dice, basically 4, 5 or 6 is a fail. I've never really liked that. I prefer it a 1, 2 or 3, so I'm going to swap it to a 1, 2 or 3 because it's more intuitive. So let's see. They have failed it. Should have kept it as it was, but that just means steady. No units may leave the square this turn and no assault can be initiated at that square. They can't move anyway because they're under that barrage, so it makes no real difference. Then over here we have 2 casualty markers plus the barrage marker, so that's 3. Now, however, they are professional, so that's -1, and they also have a tank, so that's another -1. So it takes them down again to 1 dice for their morale. So 1, 2 or 3, they fail it. Again, they have failed it as well. They're not very good, these professionals, are they? Nobody else has casualty markers in there, so we don't need to roll for anybody else. So we just clear off these casualty markers, and then we go on to the British movement. There's not a huge amount of it going to be happening, but we may as well get these moved up just to get into a positions for some firing at least. So they're moved forward over here. None of these can move because they are stuck in those barrages. These can't move into the barrage because of that, but this tank can move, and I was going to actually move the tank over here onto the road to come up that line if they can push through the crossroads, so at least it's gone through the rough ground. They can't move. These could move forward, but I don't really want them to. These can, so I'm going to move these. I'm going to try to move them out normally, so they need a 3 up to get out of there. Yes, they've done it, and they can't move forward as a bonus because that would take them into contact with an enemy. There's Germans in that suckery up here. So what they're going to do, they're going to hold on with the rest of these in here, and then they will move forward in a future turn. So now we get to fire for the Germans because there's no assaulting. The Germans, they can't fire into here because there are barrages on, but they can fire with their guns. They have, I think they've only got 3 guns now. They've got 1, 2, 3 guns. Any more over there? No, 4 guns in total. And let's just see, they could 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All of these could potentially lamp these over here. They can fire into it, they just can't move or assault into it. And there's only 4 guns. Only one of them is actually at full strength. The other ones are only firing with 1 dice, so they're firing with 3 because they got gassed. So 6 dice in total firing into this central square here, hitting on 6s. So have a look. We've got taken 2 hits in there. So the British are going to put 1 on their regular unit, 4 up to save. They've saved, and then 1 on the professional unit, 3 up to save. They've saved as well, thankfully, for once. So that's had desultory effect. Other firing, they can't fire in because of that suppression barrage. These ones over here can fire the machine gun, and the machine gun will fire with 2d6 on a 6, so that's 1 hit. They will take it on those reservists. They are saving on a 5 up though. 4, no, they haven't saved, so that is 1 casualty for those reservists as well. So they are there. Then we move on to any high commander markers come off, which we don't have. We then move on to any barrage markers come off, so that means the British are now at least in the clear. They don't have any reinforcements they can bring on, so we just clear those off, and then we will move on to the Germans' turn, and we roll we roll for the gas in the British turn. So the Germans once again are going to go for that suppression barrage. 1, 2, I'm just going to mark it out. 3, 1, just taking this out. 4, 5. Now they have 5 dice. They're going to roll those. This is all they've got left, so this is the last chance they've got to use this in the game. They need a 6 for it to come in. Let's see, they've got no 6s. 5, 5, 5, 3 and a 1, so they don't get their suppression barrage this turn, unfortunately for them. Now they will then move on to their higher command. Their high command over here, has that morale bonus. So I think what we will do, these guys over here, they are in defences, but they are being hit by gas. So there's probably a good chance that they might take a hit on the morale. So let's just put the morale bonus on these. So this is 1, 2, 3 squares away. So we need a 3 up for them to get that. 4, yes, they've got it. So with that done, I will then move on to the morale tests. So the first one here is they're being gassed, so that's 1 hit. They are in cover, but the gas doesn't affect them for being in cover. So they get 1 plus the casualty is 2, but minus 2 for their morale bonus. So basically they just pass it immediately. You can bring it down to 0, which they just have done. Meanwhile, over here we have 1 and 2 and 3 in total. So unfortunately for them, they have to roll 3 dice, and again 1s to 3s are failures for their morale. They pass 1, but they failed 2. So 2 is a retire. The owner applies and rolls for 1 hit, and the casualty mark is the save is unsuccessful. So one of these guns is going to take a hit. Let's have a look. This is what happens when you get gassed. 5 or a 6, doesn't matter which because they're both the same. 5, it has saved, so that's okay, that one over here. And then second, all units in the square fall back 1 square towards the baseline. Difficult scenery will not hinder this move. If retire is impossible due to enemy and rear, then apply 6 hits and roll saves. Units which retire off the table will lose 1 base and become reinforcements. Unfortunately for them, they've already taken hits, so they're going to disappear off. The higher commands still stick around because they're higher command, but it's basically driven off those German artillery. I'll get those off in a second. Now over here, these guys have taken 1 hit. They've also got the gas, so they are rolling 2 saves for their morale. 5 and 4, so they are still around at least, but the other gun line has disappeared off. Okay, just for my own sake, I've quickly moved through the movements. So basically these guys have just moved down here. They took their bonus move to move a second square, and they're, as I said, trying to get back into that position they were in originally before they were forced off the table at the start. The Germans then are not assaulting. They're not stupid to give up the crossroads at this point. They are then going to get shot at by the British. So the reservists over here will fire, as will this machine gun here. Then we're going to get some fire from here, and also they're going to fire into here as well. This is the only bit of firing we can do. So we're going to start first of all with those reservists and the machine gun, and they've got the gun as well. So they can do this, just try and smash this German machine gun up here. So that fires another 3, so that's 6 dice. These are only hitting on 6s, as I said before. Actually no, then they're going to fire, this gun is going to fire into the crossroads. So we'll start over here first of all with the machine gun and the infantry. So the machine gun's taken 1 hit, but it is saving on a 2 up because it's in hasty trenches. 1, it has taken a hit, so that's damaged that machine gun. It's quite surprising, that's a machine gun barrage working there for you. So then we're going to have, we've got 1, 2, tanks don't fire, 3, 4, 5, that's for the machine gun there, and then we're going to fire in with some of these guns as well. So we've got 5, this one can go 1, 2, 3 into there, so that's another 4 dice, so that's 9 dice, and then we have this one here that can go 1, 2, 3, so that is another 4 dice, so that's 13 dice. Can we get in with this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, no, it's just out of range. This one will fire over here somewhere. I might fire at them actually. Let's have a look. So 13 dice is unlucky for some, maybe for the British, maybe for the Germans, who knows. Let's have a look. Hitting on 6s, we've got 1, 2 hits, so not a huge amount. They're going to spread those on those 2 infantry units, 1 on each. They're both the same because they've both only got 3 bases in each of them, so they are saving normally on a 4, 5, 6, but they are actually in defences, so that takes them up to a 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1 saved, 1 hasn't, so that is a casualty in there and half a base in, which is useful for the British in their next turn. Okay, it's almost the end of the turn. The Germans basically have just got to roll for their countdown timer, so they want high on this one. A 3, that takes it down to 17. Right, the next thing to do now is the British gas test over here. So we've got 4 or 5 of these still. Some of these may dissipate and they may move forwards, they may move back, or they may stay. So let's just see. We basically roll through each one of them. So I'm going to start with the first one here. On a 1 or a 2 it disperses, a 3 it comes forward, 5 it goes back, and then a 5 or a 6 it stays. So let's have a quick roll and see what happens. First one is it disperses, so that's alright, because otherwise it would cause damage and hits to that square. The next one here, this is on the nobody is under at the moment. A 4 is it goes back, so that actually moves back here because it's back towards the British. Then the next one over here where the higher command are under, hopefully in gas mass 4, that comes back, so that actually lands on these guys here. That's going to cause 2 hits, we'll come back to that in a second. And then the next one over here, which is currently on the artillery, which is not good for them, that comes back as well, so that's drifting back, so the wind has obviously changed, westerly winds obviously. And then finally the last one on the end, a 2, is it disperses, so 2 have disappeared but 3 have come back, causing 2 hits on each of these squares. So the first one there's nobody in it, the next one here, these poor guys are going to take another hit, so they're saving on 4s up, and it has to be on that battalion. They've saved one, they've failed one, so we'll just swap those out, put those in a second. Then we've also got hits over here, so it's going to be 1 hit on the professionals, 1 hit on the machine gun. They don't get any bonuses for being in cover, so 3 up for the machine gun, 6 they've saved, and it's a 4 up becomes a 3 up because they're professionals, and a 2, so now they take another hit. So that is slowly denuding these poor guys here in those buildings, but it is what it is. That's gas for you. Okay, the British are going to add insult to injury with their next assets, and they are going to put down a points barrage. So this basically creates an L shape. They've got 6 dice for this, so they're going to roll those. They're going to try to throw all of it in at this 1 point. That will then, hopefully, if it lands and if it stays in position, they will hopefully smash up some of the guys in this unit here, also the ones in the open, and also that remaining gun over there. They've got 1 more gun left, the Germans. That gun line has been completely decimated, as it was in 1917 by British artillery. Anyway, enough of the history lesson. They've got 2 6s, that means it lands, or at least they get it. Now we have to roll to see if it's on target. So 1 it goes forward, sorry 1 it falls back towards the British, 6 it goes forward, otherwise it's on target. So 5, so it's perfectly on target. Now the way the point barrage works is it hits, it causes 3 barrage markers in each thing for morale purposes, but it also hits with 1d6 hits into each of the squares. So we'll start with the first one here in the open. Let's see. They've got 6 hits on them. The next one is in the objective itself. They've got 5 hits on them, and then finally on the artillery right at the very back, they've taken 6 hits as well. Right, we'll start with the artillery. They're saving on 5s and 6s. If they lose 1, they are gone because they are already damaged. Let's have a look. They've saved 1 but failed 5, so that artillery piece is gone. Now we've got professionals and machine guns in there, so the Germans have to put 1 on the professional, 1 on the machine guns. The British, so they've got 3 left, the British are going to put 2 in total onto the machine gun and 3 on the professionals. I think that's the way to do it. So the machine gun is actually saving on 3s up. It's in defences, it's not in trenches, it's in defences, so it's 3s up. Let's see, if it fails 2 it is destroyed. We have failed 1, saved 1, so that is 1 casualty marker and a damage marker on that machine gun. Okay, then we've got 2 hits on the reservists. Can't remember if I got this the wrong way around or not, never mind. These are saving on a 3 up because they're reservists. They've saved 1 but failed 1, so they lose another half a base, and another casualty marker is put in there. They now have 3 casualty markers in there. I'll put that half base on in a moment. And then finally the 6 hits on those units in the open over there. Let's have a look. They are saving on 4s up. They've actually only saved 1, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits on them, 5 fails, so that is 2.5 bases have gone. Wow, that has absolutely smashed them to pieces. That's wiped them down right down to 1. They take 5 casualties in there. 1, 2. That's a British one, I'll swap that out. 3. I don't think they're going to be surviving there. roll for morale this turn, unfortunately for them. That gave them a good beating, didn't it? Well, that couldn't have gone better for the British, could it really? They wiped out that German gun line, smashed up that battalion that just came in, and also given them something to think about in that defences. Meanwhile, we are now going on to the British High Command. So what they're going to do is they're going to issue their order, and it's going to be a fighting bonus. It gives them an extra 2 dice in a fight, because this is going to be a fight into that crossroads. So they are 1, 2, 3 away. Now the British have 3 re-rolls for this, so I'm just going to again roll these together. They need basically a 3 up on any of these dice. 6, 6 and a 3. So yes, they have got their fighting bonus. So we'll move on to the British movement. Oh no, sorry, we've got to do the morale test for the British. Let me just double check if there are any. There is one, so let's just do that now. Okay, the one British morale test is this one over here. Remember, it was from shooting from the machine gun up in the crater itself. So we have 1 hit. We've also got reservists, so that is actually 2 dice. Meanwhile, we have a machine gun, so that drops that down to 1. So they're basically failing on a 1 to 3. 5, they passed it, so we can just get rid of that casualty marker and then move on to the movements. Okay, so I did most of the British movements off camera. The only one that is really of interest for the game is this assault that is going in here. I've put a couple of units forward just to give them some support units, some support squares here and here, for example. So basically the British have managed to get 13 dice against Germans 10. That's because they've had 3 for each of these units here. So that including the tank, so that was 9. They also had their support squares, so 2 for each of those, maximum of 2 of them. So that was another 4 as well. They also had a fighting bonus as well, so that was another 2 as well. However, they were attacking against the target squares, got hasty defences in, so that took them down by 2. So it would have been 15 down to 13. Germans have got 2 units at full strength. So that gives them 2 each for those, so that was 4. Then they got 5 for the machine gun because it's undamaged, so that gives them 9. And then they also had a support square as well. Even though they've been gassed and bombed and everything, they're still a support square, so that also gave them that extra bit as well, took them up by another dice. So we roll the dice, we're looking for 5s and 6s on both sides. Whoever causes the most hits is the winner. So let's just see, it's not who saves, it's how many hits you cause. So let's have a look. So for the British, we got 1, we got 2, we've got 3 hits. The Germans, ooh, I think they've just pipped it. It might be that machine gun. Perhaps they should have dropped that barrage on the Germans themselves on the assault here. So yes, the Germans have caused 4 hits on the British square. The British have caused 3 hits on the German square. So the Germans will spread those between 1, 2, 3. The British will go 1, 2, 3. Take another one on the professional unit because they're probably more likely to survive. But basically what happens is we'll go through this in a second. We'll do the hits first. So let's do the hits on the Germans. So on the one with only 1 casualty, with only 1 half a base in there, let's roll for that. So 4 becomes that is a save. The second one with no casualties, 5, that's a save. The machine gun is saving on a 3 up, and that hasn't saved, so that's a damage in there, but they take a hit there. However, because they won the fight, we put a winning the fight marker down. They then remove all their casualty markers, so they don't have to do a morale test in their turn. So that machine gun is damaged. The British on the other hand, now we said 2 on the professionals, so they are saving on 3s up. So 4 and a 4 they've saved. The regular unit, they're saving on a 4 up. That's a saved, and the tank is saving on a 3 up as well. That is not a save, so that is damaged, and that is also a casualty marker in there as well. There's the damage on that tank. Obviously can't get up the men in road. The target achieves more or the same casualties. So 3 hits are now applied on the assaulter. Saves are then carried out, no movement is caused, and the target awards a winning the fight mark, which I've done, and also we then take away any of their casualty markers. So 3 hits back on the British. They're going to take 2 of them on those professionals first of all. No, they have to split them up. So 1 on the professionals, so 3 up. No, they've taken a hit. Oof, this has not gone as good as I was expecting it would. So that's reduced them to half a base. 1 hit on the non-professional, that's fine. And then I'll take another hit on them as well. A 3, no, they've taken another hit, so that is another casualty marker in there and half a base off as well. So, oof, that's not gone good. I'll take that fighting bonus off just for now. I was hoping that that would have pushed them over the edge, but it hasn't done. Right, first assault has been as a failure by the British. Okay, after that terrible assault, the Germans are firing. They've got the 2 machine guns in the Sucre and also the field gun as well behind it. These guys can't fire because they're under barrage, so they just got these rolling in the dice, hitting on 6s. Let's see what we got. We got 1 hit, and that is a cocked 1. I'll re-roll that. 5 now. It's 1 hit, so there's a professional unit in there. We'll take the hit on them. They're saving on a 3 up. And a 3 they've saved, so they're okay. There's 1 more bit of firing and then that's it for the Germans. So the Germans have got this damaged machine gun. It's just going to fire down into this square in front of it. It's only 1 dice because it is damaged, so 6. It has hit though, so they will take that on the they've got professional. They'll take it on the regular because the regular hasn't taken any hits. Professional, they saved, so they're okay. Right, so I've ended the British turn, gone over to the Germans. For their asset, they are dropping a point barrage right on this area here. If they get it, they're going to use up all 8 of their dice because they really need this just to stop that next assault going in on the other objective there. Let's just see. 6-6, yes, they've got it. Now, where does it land? 1, it goes back towards the Germans. 6, it comes towards the British, otherwise it lands on target. It's a 5, so it's landed on target. Right, so let's see how many hits on each of these squares then. First one is over here, 6. Oh, that's not good. Next one here on the gun, only 1. And then finally 1 on the last one. See how many? 4 hits on those guys there. Right, so let's work our way through those. So the British will put 2 on the professionals first of all. Then the Germans have got 4 more to spread between the 2 of them. So they will put, they'll just put 3 on each, to be honest, 3 on each. So the professionals saving on 3s up. They have failed 1, so that's 1 hit and half a base off. Then their regulars, they are saving on 4s up. They've failed 1 as well, so that's another casualty marker in there, plus those barrage markers as well, which is not nice for them. And then we've got the machine gun over here. This is just saving on a 3 up. 4 hits are saved, so that's not done anything. And then we've got 4 hits over here, so the British will put 2 onto the infantry and then the Germans will put another 2 on that machine gun there. So we'll start with the infantry, saving on 4s up. That was a 6, I just knocked it over. 6 and a 2, so that is a hit on the British infantry, so that's half a base in there and another casualty marker, and then 2 hits on the gun, saving on 3s up, so that's 4 and a 5, so the gun has saved at least. Bad juju though for the British. Right, so we now moved on to the Germans. Well, assets with their higher command. The higher command is going to try to put a morale bonus in here to try to ease some of their issues over there. So they need 1, 2 or above on a D6. Yeah, they got it, so they put the morale bonus in there. So what I'll do is I'll just take out 2 of those casualty markers. No, I'll leave them in because otherwise it'll confuse me. So we're going on straight onto morale for the Germans then. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for the gas as well. But they do have that 2 morale bonus, so they can take 2 off. So that's dropped them down to 8. So we test to see how many of these they save. Looking at 4, 5s and 6s to save, as I said before. They have failed 2 of them. Bloody hell, so that was pretty good. That was above the odds. So for 2, they retire. They take a hit and a casualty mark is placed if it's unsuccessful. So they've got 1 hit in there. There's only 1 unit, so they will take a hit on them. 4, 5 or 6 save. No, they haven't saved, so that is half a base of Germans in there, plus another casualty marker. Well, they take it with them. I'm going to take off the other casualty markers because we've done the morale test for that bit. Let me just remove those first of all. So that goes there. Then all the units in the square fall back 1 square towards the baseline, and that's pretty much it really. So they just fall back, taking those casualty markers with them, and I'm not surprised because they've not only been hit with gas, but they've also been hit with the point barrage as well. And then finally we've got the other one over here. Now this one's going to be slightly different. So we can take one per casualty marker. We'll move that gas so I can see how many we've got. 1, 2, 3. So let's work these out. We can do this together. 1, 2, 3. Learning together is fun. So we've got 3 casualty markers. We don't have any reservists in there. We do have 3 barrage markers in there, so that includes gas, so that's another 3 for them. Actually, the other ones shouldn't have got so many, but never mind. And per face of square after the first occupied by enemy, there is only 1 occupied by the enemy, so that doesn't count. The professional unit is in the square, maximum 1, so that takes off 1. There is a machine gun in the square, so that takes off another 1. And they're not in hasty defences. They do contain woods and buildings, so that's another 1 off, so it's brought us down to 3 now. And that's it. So 3, let's see what happens. And again, they have failed 1, so that has caused them to be steady, so they can't move out of the square this turn. So that could have been a lot worse. Thankfully for those Germans, it wasn't. So just quickly to show you what the Germans have done, all they have moved is they moved the 2 machine guns from the Sukhoi into the defences here, and they've moved the other machine gun out, the damaged one. So they've now got 2 machine guns in there with the professional unit as well. That's all they're doing movement wise. So it goes on to shooting for the British. Okay, first shooting is coming from here. We've got a machine gun, we've got these 2 units here, so that's all it is. Firing into there, hitting on. I'll tell you what, actually we've got guns as well. So I've got 1, 2, 3, they can fire. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, they can't fire. So we've got another gun as well, so that's another 3 dice. So they're firing at 6s to hit. No hits for those ones. I've got another British gun over on this flank. He's going to fire into these guys here as well, so that's just 3. See, we got no hits on those either. British shooting is very good this turn. Then the final bit of British shooting is everybody basically piling into this machine gun up here, just trying to clear off that edge, if nothing else, so we can get through that flank. Let's have a look. Hitting on 6s. One of those went over, so I've hit with three 6s there. So the Germans are saving on 3s up for the machine gun. Let's have a look. 3, 4, 5, 6. So they've saved. So the Germans have taken off the British barrage markers. They now move on to rolling for their countdown time. It's currently on 17. They need as high as possible. 2. That takes it down to 15. That means there's still quite a few turns left. Rightio, first things first, the British need to roll for their gas. So we've got 1, 2 and 3 left. So 1 or 2 it will disperse, otherwise it may move. First one has dispersed. So that's disappeared off. The second one, a 6, that just stays there, and then the last one, the Germans want this to disperse or move, and that's a 3, so that actually moves forward. So that will then fall on that German machine gun, causing 2 hits on that square. They are then saving on 3s up because it's a machine gun, but it's already damaged 1. That has lost that German machine gun. Alright, so it's the British assets. What they want to do is really just bring in an aircraft. I was going to go for a shock assault here because that adds quite a few dice. It's basically an extra battalion. But I thought about it. They've got a load of casualties. There's a chance that they may or may not fail a morale test, and if they do, they don't move. The vehicle at the back is damaged, the tank, so they want to bring forward the fresh tank to move in. So they're not going to assault this until next turn at least, I would have thought. So I decided I'm going to spend 5 points on the aircraft. They want to bring it in here. So again, we just need a single 6, double 6 there, and a 1, and a 2 and a 4. So that just sits there, and that will shoot into any surrounding squares. So we're going to be able to use that at least to fire at the Germans in their turn and just cause them a bit of consternation, if nothing else. The next thing is the British Higher Command Order. They want to put a fighting order into here, fighting bonus into here. So it is actually 6 squares away. So I'm just going to roll for it now because they're going to assault that machine gun, I think. Get it out of the way. 2, no, it hasn't worked, so they don't want to get a higher command bonus for that. unfortunately for them. So now we're going to move on to the morale test for the British. Now this is the bit where it is going to be a bit tricky for them, I think. So we have two morale checks. First one is this one. It's got a 3-point barrage in it. It also has one casualty in there, but it does have a machine gun in there as well, so that's just 3. Let's see, 4, 5, 6s are saves, and every single one of those is a fail, so that is run. Right, so what happens is, first the owner rolls 1d6 on each unit, and a score of 5 or 6 indicates the unit is routed and is removed from the game. Otherwise we then go on to 2 fails. So first one's here. These are just a normal regular unit, so 5 or 6. 1 is they're okay, and the machine gun is okay, so whew, got away with that. Right, then we go on to retire. First the owner applies and rolls for 1 hit, so we will take that hit potentially on those regulars. They're saving on 4s up. 1 they have not saved, so they've taken a casualty, so I'll take that base off. I'll keep the casualty on. Then all the units fall back. That includes these as well here. This is not going well, is it really? So I'm glad I didn't attack here, because they were going to be a support section for that. And that's pretty much it really. That's all they do, they just fall back. Okay, that wasn't good. Right, we got these ones. So these have got 3 casualties, so that's 3 dice first of all. However, they also have a professional unit in there, and they also have a tank in there as well, so that just drops them down to 1. So let's have a look. They need a 4, 5 or 6, and 6 they've passed it, so we get rid of those casualty markers. So these ones over here have actually got 2 casualty markers plus 3 barrage markers, but they also have a professional in there, so that would actually just take them to 4 dice in total. Let's see, 4, 5, 6s, and they have failed 3, so they take a hit first of all. No, actually we test to see if they have disappeared off first of all. So the professionals, they will disappear on a 6. They will rout on a 6. No. The other ones will rout on a 5 or a 6. No, they don't. So neither of them have routed at least. Just take off those casualty markers. Then we take a hit. They're going to take it on the professionals. They'll better saves. 3's up. No, they haven't saved it. So that takes them, and they get another casualty marker back, and then everybody falls back into the next square. Fortunately for them, they can at least they can fit in there, but that has pushed them back, and if they take any more hits they will then take another morale test in the next turn. In the British movement phase, all the British did was basically just reconfigure a couple of units here and there on the right flank. They've decided to attack and assault into this German machine gun. It is damaged, it's in hasty defences, so that's taken off a couple of the British dice, but they still got 9 against 3. So let's see, 5s and 6s are hits. The British have caused 1 hit, the Germans have caused no hits. So the Germans have lost. They get a saving roll, save up on a 2 up actually, 6. Yes, they've saved, but the assaulter achieves more casualties. Artillery guns are removed, 3 hits applied to the target square, and then saves are carried out, and then the target withdraws 1 square, taking the casualties with it, and the assaulter must move in at least 1 infantry or cavalry, and then they also get it winning the fight as well. Right, so so they take 3 hits. Let's see if they survive this, and yes, they have actually, surprisingly. So they're just pushed back into there. The his defences have been destroyed though as part of that attack. The British are then going to push in their professionals. They wanted to do this to basically get in here, consolidate on this gun here, getting ready to potentially attack into that defensive position there, although I think that really will need some softening up. So they got in there, and then they also get a winning the fight marker as well, which I'll put on in a second. And yeah, that's it. So it's a German shooting, which I'm going to start with over here on this sector of the board. So we've got these guys here, they're just firing at the ones that are coming up into the crater itself. Only 4 of them, machine gun and 2 battalions, hitting on 6s. That is 2 hits though. The British will put 1 on the professionals, saving on a 3 up, fine, and 1 on the regulars, saving on a 4 up, fine and fine. Then we've also got over here, it is 3 dice this time. These are going to fire at the unit in front of them, and they're hitting on sixes, so no hits for them. Final German firing is going to be from the building here and also the factory on these fellas here in the open. So these are hitting on sixes. It's quite a lot because there's a couple of machine guns in there. Just one hit though, saving on a 4-up for those British. One, no they haven't, so that is a casualty on the British. Right, just before the Germans take their turn, let's have a little quick look at where we're actually at. So we've got, the Germans have reinforced the objective over here with their 2 machine guns. They lost all their gun line at the back, you'll remember, from the gas pretty much. They've got 1 gun left over here. They have packed out the other objective over here with men, and this guy has been pushed back out of the crater. He's still kicking around, but he hasn't gone, at least for the British. Then we've also, the British, they failed at their objective, well, to capture the objective here with the assault. So they just kind of, they brought their tank forward, pushed the other one back that is damaged. Unfortunately for them, that point barrage actually pushed everybody back out of here, so it's really broken up the line quite badly over here. They really need to recover and get this forward because there's still a lot of Germans sitting over there that they need to smash up. They have brought in that aircraft which will be able to fire into these areas, which hopefully will be able to give a bit of support here and there, but yeah, this attack is not going as well as I had planned it would have. I was hoping by this point that the Germans would have been cleared out to the crossroads, but they've not. They've failed to do this, so something may happen over here. We've got winning the fight, you know, we've got quite a lot of fresh units over there though, so there might be a little bit more victory on that left flank. But let's just see what happens with our next roll. It is the Germans' turn and see what they do. Okay, for their asset, the Germans are wanting to bring in an aircraft. They want to put it here, which will also allow them to try to fight off the British aircraft that is there, which will stop them fighting. But let's see, they're only using 5 of their 10 dice, so they need a 6 on any of these. 6, yes, they've got it, so here it is. It's going to pop in here, a ground attack aircraft. Now it will try to drive off the British aircraft as its first action, so it gets a +1 to the red dice. The British roll a 6, it's a snuck up on it out of the sun. And basically, if it beats if the German aircraft beats the British score by 3, it's driven off the British aircraft, shot it down or whatever. So let's see. 4 becomes a 5 against a 3. No, it hasn't beaten it by 3, so they've had an aerial dogfight, but they're still both sticking around. So it means the British fighter, the aircraft will fire in the Germans' turn later on. The Germans aren't moving, they're sitting where they are, so we're going to go straight onto the British shooting. They're not moving, they're not assaulting. So first of all, these guys here are going to take some hammer here. They're getting shot at by the professionals and the regulars, also by this machine gun, also by this regular unit over here. They're also going to be taking 2 artillery hits as well from 2 cannons here, so that's another 6. And then finally the aircraft is also firing, and that fires with 12d6. So I think there's over 20 dice in here, so we're looking for those 6s. Let's just see how many we do. Hopefully this will do some damage to those Germans. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits in amongst all of those in there. So the Germans choose the first 2, so they'll put both of those on each of their units, so 1 and 2, and then another 3 units so the British can distribute. They'll put 1 on the machine gun and then 1 on each of these. We're just trying to reduce their numbers down as much as possible and cause a bit of casualties. Also, the Germans didn't have any morale either. That was your thing. So first one on these guys. These are machine guns in trenches basically. 2, they needed a 3 up, so that has destroyed that. So that's 1 thing down, that's good. And maybe they might actually win the next fight. Then we've got 2 hits on these ones. He's all damage, still has 2 hits on them, so that's taken off a full base. So that puts them down to half a base, so they are no longer at strength now. And then those final 2 hits over here, forget hasty, another 2 hits, so that's another 2 casualty markers in there. So they've suddenly got 5 casualty markers in from all that firing. It's worthwhile bringing that aeroplane on, at least. So we will then quickly move on to removing the barrage markers. There's only really 1 barrage marker, and that is the aircraft, so that has disappeared now for the British at least. And then it's the Germans' countdown timer, so we'll just roll for this. 5, so they're now down to 10, so there's potentially 2 more turns left if they get 5 and a 6, or 2 5s and a 6s. Right, let's move through our British opening phase. So first of all, it's the gas. Is it still here or does it disappear? Let's have a quick look. A1, yes, it is gone. It has finally dissipated and is no longer an issue. So the Germans can actually use gas now in their turn. Right, so then we are going to go for, yet again, they're going to roll 5 asset dice for the aircraft. So they had 5 left over. They want to bring back the aircraft because it did so much good the last time, at least. And yes, they've got 3 6s, so the aeroplane has come back. So we're going to put this here because this is potentially the weaker of the 2 objectives at this point. So that was that. That was the. And then they're going to try to get a fighting bonus for this square here because this is going to assault. So 1, 2, 3 away. So they need 3 for their higher commander order. A 1, no, they don't get it, so we'll just put that back there out of the way. And then I'm gonna go on to morale. So morale wise, we've got these guys over here. They only have 1 though because they've taken 1 casualty, so we just roll for that. 1, 2, 3 is a fail, 6 it's a pass, so we take that off. Then we've also got this one over here. So they start with 1 casualty, but then they have a professional in there and a machine gun, so that takes it off, so that just wipes that out. Then over here we have 1 casualty, we have a machine gun in there, so that also takes that off as well. Right, so I'm just going to go straight onto the British movement and I'll show you what I've done when I've done it. Alright, just quickly to show you here what the British have done. They've kind of reformed everything. They managed to push some stuff back up. So what we're going to go for 3 assaults this turn. So they've got 1 against that machine gun, hopefully to knock it out, push it back off the table. They've got the other one again in the centre against this objective over here. They managed to move some units up, but they're not in a position to assault. But they've actually going to assault against that machine, that gun that's in the sugar factory, hopefully to be able to take this position in the flank if they can. So that's where we're going to go. We're going to start with the assault over here on the machine gun, so let's have a go at that. Okay, in this one, because that machine gun is damaged, they've only got 1 support square, they've ended up with 4 dice. The British on the other hand have got 5, 10, 12 dice. So the Brits should win this one and hopefully push that machine gun off the table, but never say never. Looking at 5s and 6s, 2 hits. So how many hits we got for the Brits? We got 1, that was close, 2 against 1 German hit, but they have still won. So is there much point in me rolling the German hit because they're going to get pushed off anyway? Let's do it. They're saving on a 3 up, and yes, they've saved, but they are pushed off anyway. The British have taken 2 hits, so they're going to take 1 hit on each of these. So 1 on the professionals, 3 up is a save, yes. 1 on the regulars, 4 up is a save, no. So they've taken half a damage here, but they have won the fight, so they get rid of that any casualty markers they would have taken. They also then get to move 2 units in. They push these out, so they're off the table, they're done, and so they have at least got rid of that machine gun, and then they will move at least 1 unit into there. They're actually going to put 2 in because they can then attack from the flank over here, which is what they were hoping to do anyway. Right, we're going to do the assault on the factory. This is the least important one at this point. The Germans have got 3 in total. The British here have got 8 in total. Should be a British win, but you can never say. You can never say it will be. Let's have a look though. 5s and 6s are hits. So it is actually. You can never say. Right. So it is actually. It's a German win. So. Let's see first of all then. So the Germans have caused 2 hits on the British. British have caused 1 hit on that gun. Let's just see what happens with that gun. It is saving on a 5 or a 6. It has been damaged at least in the fight. And it will also... No, it doesn't take any more hits than that. Let's put these markers down so I remember. Now the British have taken 2 hits and it's going to be on that assaulting unit. And they have saved both of those. However, they have lost... So there's 3 hits applied to the British, so let's just see. 4's up, and they've saved. They've failed 2 of those, so they fall back in disarray. I can't believe that they lost against a single gun in a factory. No movement is caused, and the target gets winning the fight. So they're damaged, but they are winning the fight. Can't believe that they didn't clear it out. So, boo sucks to Jerry there. There we go. Okay, well I don't want any overconfidence on this one, but the Germans have got 4, basically, because of that, winning the fight more than anything else. The British, on the other hand, have got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13. Unlucky for some, but you never know. It might be lucky for them in this particular attack. They really need to break this German line down here, because it is holding up the rest of the advance. So the Germans actually haven't hit anything this time round, so they've done better already than attacking that artillery piece. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits on the Germans, so that's going to be 3 hits on each of those units. So I'll just roll the saves for those first of all, and then that's going to chivvy things along a little. Right, so the first Germans here, they are saving on 4, 5, 6. Then on the professionals, they've taken 1 hit, so that has caused 1 hit on them there. And they of course have still got all those casualties from before, and take that fight, winning the fight off, that goes on to the Brits. And then they've taken 3 hits on the other unit as well. This time they've saved 1, so they'll take that off, and then I'll replace that with half a base, and another casualty marker goes in there as well. So that they've got now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 casualty markers in there. Not good, is it? Right, so that means the Germans are then pushed out. 3 hits are also applied to the target square, so they'll take 2 on these. First of all, 6 and a 4 they've saved, and the other one will go on the single one. No, they've saved as well. Then they have to withdraw a square, taking all their casualties with them. So they pop into this square here, so they're being pushed back, and then the British have to move at least 1 unit in. They didn't take any hits, so they don't remove any casualties, but there we go, we'll stick them in there. And finally, those professionals from the, what unit are they? The 2nd Battalion of West Yorkshires have actually got into and taken that crossroads at last. That took a monumental effort on their part, but they did it. Lads from Leeds, and then we're going to move in the tank as well with them as well. So they've actually captured one of the objectives finally, after all this grinding fight. Well, we've got a bit of German firing to do, so we'll work our way through it. So we're starting over here. These guys are firing at the ones in the open over here, hitting on 6s. That's cocked, so I'll just re-roll it, but so far no hits. Then we've got the Germans in the buildings firing at these here, along with that aircraft as well. So quite a lot of firing into these units here, but hitting on 6s. So let's just see what they get. And oh god, that's a lot of 6s. 1, 2, I can see a lot of boxcars. 1, 2, wow, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the Germans are really doing some damage over there, aren't they? They've held it up quite badly with the artillery, and also now just giving them some umpty. So we got 7 hits, so we'll divide those up. For the British, they're going to take their first 2 hits. They'll take 1 on the professionals, 1 on there. The Germans, meanwhile, will spread them around like it's Halloween, and they'll put another 1 on those ones there. Right, so 2 on the machine gun, saving on a 3 up. 1 hit, so that's damaged it and caused a casualty. Then we've got 3 hits on the regulars, they're saving on 4s up. They've taken 2 hits, so that's her base off, and 2 more casualties in there. Oh, they do not want to give up this position, do they? And then we've got the 2 hits on the professionals, they're serving on 3s up. 2 more hits. Bloody hellfire. This is not going well for those British on that side. I don't know if they just cannot get forward, unfortunately for them. Right, so that was a German firing. So then we move higher command orders and any inflicted barrage markers. So it's only this, opponent inflicted barrage markers, and then that's it. Okay, so the Germans have got a couple of morale tests to do. First of all, obviously this big one here in the centre, and they've also got 1 over here as well. I'm going to do the 1 over there first of all. It is only 1 dice because there's only 1 casualty. Let's just see what happens. A 1, they have failed it, and that is a steady, so it means they can't actually move out of there anymore. So I'll just take that off to show we've done the casualty, that 1. Now then, over here. Sorry, I missed it. I need to do the assets. I've already done the morale test, we can forget about it. I want to do the assets, and I'm going to do the hold the line, which is a morale bonus. So they've only got 3 dice for this. They need a 6. So let's see if they get it. No, they don't actually get it, so that's not good. So what they're going to do then is they're going to throw in the morale bonus from their higher command, and they are 1-2 squares away, so they need a 2 or above, and they don't get that either. This is going from bad to worse already. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 casualties in there, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 casualties. So if they this is all they get. So if they fail these, this is it, probably game over for that central section. Let's have a look. We've passed, they failed 2 but passed 5, so that is a retire. So they take a hit at least, and let me take all these casualty markers off first of all, because they've done that test now. So they take 1 hit, and I'm going to take it on the one that has got half a base on it. That's those guys there, so they are saving on a 4-up. Let's see, yes, they've saved it, so they're okay, and basically they fall back towards their base line, so that's pushed them right back out of the way, but he's causing the support squad over there at least, so this swings and roundabouts. And I've already done the morale for the other one over here as well. Now the Germans aren't actually going to do any movement in this turn, because they really need to hold on to what they've got at this point, so that's all they're going to do. So what we'll do, we'll move straight onto the British shooting. First round of firing is going to be into the building here, using the aircraft as well, and also artillery as well kicking about, and the couple of units that are over here. So it's a lot of dice here. Let's just see if this makes an impression. 6s to hit. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 hits in total. So that is, the Germans choose the first 2, so they're just going to put those on their 2 normal units, on their regular units, and then the British choose the last 2, so they're actually going to put them on the machine gun. So we'll do the machine gun first of all, saving on anything but a 1 or a 2. 5 and a 4 saved. Then the one with half a base saving on a 3-up, because they're in buildings, and then the other one saving on a 3-up, and they've saved and saved. Then we got 2 rounds of firing over here, so we've got these guys firing in with a machine gun that's damaged, but also an artillery is going to fire into there as well. This is the objective, so this one is an important one. Let's just see, 6s are hits, they've hit 1, so have the Germans saved it. The attacker puts it on, so they're going to put it onto one of the machine guns, saving on a 3-up though, and a 3, yes, it saved it, no issues there. Then we've got firing over here at that bloody artillery piece that didn't disappear, this time 5, because they've got a couple of battalions plus a artillery piece as well. So hitting on 6s, that is a cocked die, so I'll re-roll that to 3. No hits at all. Okay, so the British aeroplane has disappeared as well, and now we go on to the German roll for the countdown timer. They want us, ooh, 6. Right, that takes them to a 4. There's possibly 1 turn left in this game now. Right, the British asset is going to be hold the line, and they've got 5 dice for this. So need a 6 on any of these, and they're going to give it onto this unit. Yes, they've got a 6, so they want to put it in there just to help on that morale issue. They're not giving out their asset because there's nowhere they yeah, let's do it. So we could go 1, 2, 3, 4. These are 4 away. Give them a fighting bonus to try and clear out that artillery piece. So 4 up, yes, they've got it. So at least they can try and push in and reduce that factory, if nothing else. Right, okay, so we go straight onto British morale. And we've got these guys here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice first of all. There's no reservists in there. Per face of the square occupied by the enemy. No, they're not, because they're diagonal. There is a professional unit in there, so we take that out. There is a machine gun in there, so we take that out. And hold the line, we'll take out 3 dice. So they have literally passed their morale test just by putting that in. That was worth it, that. So we take away all of their casualty markers. We can take that hold the line off as well, we don't need it anymore. And then we've got the other one over here. Now these have got 2, and I think that's it. That's all they've got. They've got reservists, they get an extra 1, so they've actually got 3 in there. So let's just see. They've failed 2 but passed 1, so 2 is a retire. So they take a hit. Oh god, this artillery piece has done terrible. They're going to hit it on the reservists. They're saving on a 5 or a 6. No, they don't, so they take 1 casualty. I'll just put that in there. Take 1 casualty off because they'll take that anyway. And then they retire basically back into the morass back here. So this is they're the reservists. I'll take that fighting bonus off because they're not going to use it anyway in this turn, and these guys also fall back with them. So that was terrible. But we go on to movement anyway for the British, so I'll do that off camera. Just to quickly show you over here what has happened, not a huge amount to be fair. They've just moved a couple of units forward. They're not attacking with these this turn because they just didn't have enough support or anything else, and there's 2 machine guns in there that are not damaged, so it would be an absolute and utter butchery to do that. So they're going to stop and hold there. And then meanwhile, as these units push through that centre and the crossroads, they are now attacking into the village, the second objective. If they can capture this then and hold it, they can win the game potentially. It's going to be tight because I think, let's have a look, we've got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 for the British. We've got 8 9 10 for the Germans, so this could potentially go either way. There's not much in it, but let's have a look, see what happens. The British are looking for their 5s and 6s, as are the Germans of course. So they've got 1 2 3 that is 4 hits on the Germans. I can't see any more in there, I don't think. No, the Germans meanwhile have got 1. I said it was going to be tight. 3. So the British have won 2 to 3. So that means let's just work out the hits on either side first of all. So the British are taking 3 hits. I'll do those on the lads that are coming in on the flank. So they're going to take 2 on the professionals because they've got a better save. So that's a 3's up. So they've taken 1 casualty there and half a base. Can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs, can you? They will get that back anyway. But then they've also taken. They're going to take 1 hit on the unit behind, saving on the 4. They're okay. Now the Germans. So they're going to take 1 hit on each of their units. 1 2 3, and then they'll take 1 on each of the infantry, I think, and that's the way to do it. So that machine gun saving on a 3 up. 6, yes, it's saved. The 2 hits on these guys here. 3 and a 6, they're fine because they're in buildings. And then finally 3 up for this last one. So that is 1 hit and half a base off. We've already got half a base off anyway, so we'll just put a casualty marker on. Now they have lost and the assaulter achieves more. So 3 hits are applied to the target square, and the assaulter must move. They must withdraw 1 square, taking the casualties. So it actually pushed them off the table. There's not much point me rolling for those casualties, so they just get off. We'll take that casualty off the British because they're now winning the fight, and they have now taken and occupied that second objective, which is exactly what they needed to do. Right, we're on a last ditch attempt here for the Germans to hold on. They're going to try to put down a gas barrage on the British. They're using all 10 of their asset dice for it. So let's just see. They need a 6. They've got it. They've got 3 6s in there. So we roll to see if it's actually on target or not. It might fall forward, it might fall back. Let's just have a look. So it's actually fallen back. So that actually falls on the Germans themselves. So they're going to take some hits. Those guys are going to take some hits. They will at least hit the British there, and also there as well. Okay, so they're going to take 2 hits on each of these squares. So the first one here is the higher command and those other units. So the unit itself is saving on a 4 up. No, and it is only half a base. So that has gone, disappeared off. The higher command, they save on a 2 up. Just see. Yes, they saved at least. They got their gas masks on. Now we've got 2 hits over here. So 1 on the half unit. They've saved. 1 on the non-half unit. They haven't saved. So that's going to be a German morale test. So it's not a good look to be gassing your own men, I don't think. Then we've got 2 hits on the British over here. So the professionals are saving on a 3 up. They're fine. And the other ones who aren't professional, the regulars, they have failed theirs, so they've taken a hit as well. So that just causes 1 casualty and half a base. Don't think it's too late in the game at this point really to do a huge amount. Then we've also got reservists over there. They're taking 2 hits, and they're saving on a 5 or a 6 though, because they're reservists. Oh dear, they've taken 2 hits, so they're taking 2 casualties on them, unfortunately for them. So the Germans will try to put their morale bonus on these guys here, so they basically need a 2 up to be able to do that. 2, yes, they've just done it. So for the morale, they would be rolling 1 dice, but -2 because of that morale bonus, so we're just going to take that off. Now they've got 2 damaged units there. Is it worth doing anything with them? I don't really think it is, to be honest. The Germans are just going to sit and wait. So I'm going to move straight onto the British firing. There's not a huge amount that the Germans can do, so we're just going to do some firing here. So we've got 2 units in there. I'm just going to tot all these up. 1 for the British, 1, 2, and then they've got 2 units here, 3, 4, and they've got 1 more here as well firing. So 5 into that square. Let's just see what they get. 6s. That was cocked. I'll re-roll it. Nope. No hits on them at all. So the firing over here, we've got quite a lot of stuff just piling into that position there. Maybe the British can capture it if the Germans don't end the game this turn, but let's see. 6s, we've got 1, 2 of them, and that's it. So the Germans decide where they're going to go. They're going to take them on those professionals who are saving on 3s up. Let's have a look. That was cocked. 1 is a 6, the other one is a 2, so they've actually taken a hit. So we're now onto the countdown timer for the Germans. If they roll over 4, then basically the game is over and it'll be a British victory, but a minor victory. But let's have a look. They've got a 1. Still the game is on. Okay, for their asset, the British are going to go for shock assault here. They've got 7 dice for it, so they're going to roll for that. They need a 6 on any one of them. And yes, they've got 3 6s, so that's good. They've got it. Now they are also wanting to give out their fighting bonus for their higher command, so they need a 4 up for this because they're 4 squares away. And 5, yes, they have that as well, so I'm just going to stick that in there as well. So that's giving them an extra 5 dice in the assault, because obviously they're going to attack here. Okay, we're going on to the morale. We've got the poor old reservist under this gas cloud. They've got 2 casualties already, so they're saving on 4s up. They fail 2, so that is a retire, so they take another hit on there. So 4, 5 or 6, 5 or 6 is a save. They've saved it, but they fall back into the mine crater from whence they came. Then they have another morale test over here, reservists and a casualty, so this is 2 dice for them. Let's see, they failed both of those, so they retire as well. So they take 1 hit, they'll take it on the reservists, saving on 5 or 6. They've saved, but they do fall back yet again. Another square, very poor indeed. So we've got some assaulting basically from these guys here who fought at the crossroads. They've moved these chaps into here, and then they're going to push those into there. So I'm going to keep winning the fight in there with them. So they're going to use these as support. They're not moving out of the the objective over there, but they've got support over here as well. So we've got quite a lot going on here. So we've got 3 for the professional battalion, 3 for that tank, 4 in total for the support squares. They've also got winning the fight, so that's another 2 as well. And that's it. The Germans are both damaged, so they only have 2, and that's it for the Germans. Unfortunately for them, they don't have any support. So let's just see. It's just literally just to clear them off the table, if they can do. The British have caused 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits against the Germans. 1, so yeah, that's cleared the Germans off. So let's just hit that on the professional British there, saving on a 3 up. No, they've taken a hit, but they are winning the fight, so they get rid of that casualty marker. We'll take that back to them. They are pushed off the table, so that's completely destroyed them, and then these will move into that square, and they are winning the fight even with the casualties. So happy days, moving into the gas clouds. So the British are going to try this final assault here. I think if this wins, then that's game over. It's going to be very close. The British have got 13 dice against the Germans 12, because they've got 2 operating machine guns in there, but they've got to try it, and let's give it a go. It's 12 against 13. Who's going to win? So the British have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. Germans have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 hits. Oh my god, that is so close. The British have just won it. So let's just do those hits, but the Germans are going to get pushed out of there. So they've taken 2 hits, so they're going to take 6 hits. They're going to take 2 hits on each of their units, and the British will put that third final one on those guys there. The British, they can only take them on the attacking units, the 2-3 that went in. One of them's professional at least, one of them isn't. So let's work out the British attacks, because they won. So the first one on the regulars, they've saved all but 2, so that's 2 casualties. But they are winning the fight, so we can get rid of their casualties, it doesn't matter. Then on those regulars, the professionals should I say, sorry, they are saving on 3s up, so just take those out. So 3s up for those. They've saved all of them, which is what they needed. Right, the Germans, the professionals, are saving on a 3 up. 2 taken out. So that's them taken out, along with 2 casualties as well for them. This is not going to go well for them, is it? Right, so we've got 2 hits on this machine gun, saving on 3s up. That's a 3 and a 6, so that's saved. And then 2 hits on the other machine gun, saving on 3s up. They've saved as well. But as I say, they are pushed out of that objective, along with all those bits and pieces as well. So let's get those out of there, and then we can move in the British attackers. In they go. They will get a winning the fight marker, not that it really matters, so I'll just take those off as well, and then that ends that turn. Right, I think I'm going to leave the game there, because the Germans literally cannot win this. They can't assault with the machine guns, they can only assault with that professional unit, and it is just going to be rolling 1 dice, so they can't really do anything else. They have lost. It is a complete British victory. Bells will be rung all across Britain. Right, let's have a quick sit rep at the end of the game. So this is how the table looks. The British managed finally to get across the table, and as I say, take all 3 of the objectives. Just shift that one there. So that one is now fully occupied by 2 units, and it is also supported by the tank and the remains of that professional unit here as well, who are winning the fight. The German High Command are being gassed by their own gas. They're sitting there. They won't stand around. The last German defenders were these guys here. So 2 machine guns, and the remains of that professional unit that had been on the table in there since the start, but they'd taken 3 casualties, taking them with them. And we've also got the final gun as well, which is damaged. Still winning the fight though, so he's holding on to that left flank for the Germans. But as I say, the Germans, for their attack in their turn, this is why I ended it, you can't attack with machine guns and you can't attack with artillery pieces, so they would only be able to attack with them, and they are not at strength. They'd be rolling literally 4 dice in total against, a huge amount of British presence over here. They just would not get in. It'd just be it was not worth their while. They would take damage. Over here, as I say, this was probably the success story of the night, with the British getting in and then also capturing that, pushing through that machine gun that was in the crater over here. This held things up quite badly, as did a lot of the German artillery as well, and the gas as well still sticking around. It was very useful for the British to use that gas and that point battery as well on this area. Really smashed up that defence, especially the unit that was here as well. That was really good. Unfortunately for the British, they've still got a couple of units falling back all the way back here. Whether they will get back into the fight or not is a different matter, or they will. Their officers will probably have a meeting without coffee, unfortunately for them. And they did get 1 tank damaged, and the other one managed to push on up through the crossroads and beyond. Brilliant game, fantastic game of square bashing as always. Never had a bad game of square bashing. If you are interested in First World War wargaming, I cannot emphasize this enough. This is a great game, and it is a really good game to get into it as well. Once you've read through the rules, it is quite simple. It's quite hard work to get through those rules, but they are quite simple once you've actually got your head around them, and you can play them all off the play sheet. apart from just understanding the different barrage types. But apart from that, it is a really simple, exciting and interesting game, and as I say, can be played on a 3x4. You know, I'm not getting paid by Peter Pig to say this, but I think this is one of my favourite games. It is definitely up there in the, I don't know, maybe top 10 I would have said. Something that I don't play enough of, and I always enjoy it when I do play it. Right, well look, if you've enjoyed that, please do tune in again for another Storm of Steel video in future. Also check out the rest of the channel. There are a couple more of these square bashing fights on the channel from a few years ago, so go and check those out, and you'll probably enjoy those as much as this one, or I hope you will. And if you haven't already, please of course do subscribe to the channel, and also just check out Patreon and channel memberships, because it all helps in the Storm of Steel world. And I will see you in the next Storm of Steel video.